All right, hey, how you doing? This is Joe. Today I want to talk about overcoming. Um, Obviously, we know that there are some people who are stuck with the abuse of drugs or alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it may be. And I want to talk a little bit about that, for the people who desire to overcome. If you're doing such things and you don't really have a problem with it, then that's not a video for you, right? I'm talking more about, people who would be like, there's something in my life where, I think that I want to try and quit something and try to change, or maybe, maybe you're not in a desperate maybe you're just not desperate. Maybe you just want a breakthrough and you want to try to change some certain habits. So this is what this video is going to be about. All right. So first off, if you want to try and quit any of these things, any of these bad habits that probably has a dominion over you, and you know it, you feel it in some way, then you're gonna have to have a plan, some kind of plan, and the important thing is to follow through with it, right? So I'm gonna try and give you some keys, if we may, so that you may be successful in doing so. For example, if you try to quit smoking cigarettes, I wouldn't suggest patches. I don't think that's very healthy for you. Also, if you're gonna try quitting, I don't know, drugs or alcohol, then you're gonna have to find, do some different things during your day, during your routine, so that you can stay away from it and hopefully overcome. Because for drugs, for example, you've been used to being so numb, when doing it, that when you stop it, when you quit, then your senses, start to be heightened. So like you may be having a hard time, doing rests during night, right? Doing your full night, because of the how do you call it, withdrawal, right? Because of the withdrawal and the effect it has on the on the your physical body, because it's a real thing, and it's a hard thing to overcome. But I believe you can do it. You have to first be motivated, and you have to really have the desire and the will to overcome. That's the first key. So motivation is the first thing. Second thing is to try to change some things, some habits in your life, that will cause you, that will draw you towards the things you want to quit. So for example, if you try to quit cigarettes, I would suggest, don't do the patch thing. That's not good for you. Because basically what you're doing is you're simply giving your body an alternative to the quitting, right? So I would suggest, cold turkey. Same thing for drugs. Don't try to substitute it with something else, because obviously it's not really. I don't personally believe it's gonna help you quit. I think that there is a blessing, if we may, that comes with a painful thing that comes up in your life. Like every painful things and every hard things will definitely strengthen you, will make you harder. Like they say, what can't kill you only makes you stronger. So I would suggest that. Now going back to the habits, you need to try and change the habits. So for example, if you're gonna try quit doing drugs, then you're gonna have to try and stay out of the places that draw you to doing them, like maybe friends, clubs, family members, whatever. Same thing for smoking, right? If you're gonna have to make an evaluation of your life and see what causes me to draw me towards these things, and you have to cut them off. It's not gonna have to be forever, right? Just temporarily, because obviously when you stop these things, then there's a purging process going on with you, physically and mentally or spiritually. So the withdrawal process, when you stop doing these things, it's very strong during the first few days. You're gonna feel it like in your body. Like it's gonna be a physical manifestation. Then afterwards, after maybe 3 days, 5 days, a week, depending on what you're trying to quit, the withdrawal will be less and less strong. So it's going to be less of a physical thing, and it's going to turn into more like a mental thing. Then afterwards, when you're done with the physical withdrawal, then you've got the battle, you're halfway there and more, because after that it's all in your head, and you should be in control of your mind, right? So basically what I'm saying is, once the physical aspect of it goes away, then it's easier. It's not like, then you're not shaking anymore for it, or you can't go through your full night rest, or afterwards it's just like in there, you're just like I feel like it. It's not going to be an urge where you need it, but it's going to be more like a want, and the wants, they're easily overcome, right, than the needs and the urges. So that's that. So change your habits. I would suggest also, for cigarettes, obviously you're going to have to substitute that with, eating. That's going to help you. You might gain a few pounds. Shouldn't be that much. But if you can keep that thing out of your mouth and, put in snacks instead, then that's going to help you overcome, right? It's gonna make the withdrawal less hard on you. Also, I suggest sleep. Like you're gonna have to, if you're so drawn that you feel you're gonna fall, you're gonna go back, just try to quit these things when you're maybe on vacation, or you got a few days off, where you just can go to sleep. Just let it pass, because you've been used to be so numb for drugs, right, let's say. And so, like I said, when you quit these things, your senses are heightened and you start feeling things like 3 times harder. So you're going to have to try to go back to the numbness to help you to sleep, to help you go through the withdrawal. That's what I'm talking from my personal experience in the past when I've tried quitting these things. And so yeah, you have to change the habits and find the things that will help you to put an end to it and march forward. For example, you might have, I'm talking about sleep, you might have a hard time, going to sleep because you're going to be restless, because it's going to be, things inside are going to be fighting. So you're going to have to, try to find some steps to help you sleep better. And, if you're going to quit drugs, and that's not going for medication where it's going to help you go to sleep, the way I see it is, drugs, whether recreational, whether strong drugs, or pharmaceuticals, to me they're all the same, right? So don't try to get an alternative, switch one for the other. That's not going to work. If you want to quit, You gotta cut it at the root. And am I missing something? So yeah, try to find some things that will help you to sleep. Look on YouTube. We got a lot of information on hand. We got a pile of knowledge out there. People giving testimonies. To you it might be calm music that will help you go to sleep. To other it might be watch a movie. But you'll get what I'm saying, right? You'll figure it out. I believe you can do it. That's the important thing. Motivation and belief in yourself. You have to believe. If you believe, then you're off a good start. So oh yes, and the important thing is when you get through that withdrawal and it's out of your system. So let's say you're 3 weeks, 1 month down the road. Always remember, the hardest thing, I won't say the hardest thing, but the downfall of most people is going back. You don't want to go back, right? Because it can be a year down the road. It can be 2 years down the road. But if you go back, then you've never really quit, have you? The way I see it is, if I stop doing something, then on my deathbed, on my last breath, if I haven't went back to it, then I'll be able to say, I stopped doing it. I overcame. Now that doesn't mean that, prior to that, you're not overcoming. Of course, we're overcoming because we stopped doing it, but it's a lifelong process. That's what I'm trying to say. And finally, after you've overcome, you go out and you help your brothers and sisters. Shalom.